receiving the gift of the flame of love is a lifelong act of faith. It's a lifelong act of spiritual poverty. In gratitude for the gift of the Lord Jesus, which is sheer grace. And it is coming to us as willed by Jesus himself through his mother's heart. Now, grace comes to us from the sacraments. We all know that. But Mary is so close to the church that Mary is related to the coming of grace in a profound way. Just as we receive the sacraments from Holy Mother of the Church, Mary and the church, they're not identical, but Mary is mother of the church. And there is this mystical relationship. And we know that Jesus wants us to come to him as we give ourselves to be led by his mother. And that is the whole desire of her maternal heart for us, to lead us to Jesus, her son. And that we share in the gift that is in her heart, and that it transform it. Its effect, Jesus, the effect of Jesus, who is God's love incarnate, will transform us and make us perfectly docile and able then to be used to bring that gift to others. All right. Now, the difference here is that we all have wounds, spiritual wounds, that can impede our receptivity. Unlike Mary, there was nothing in her that could do that. She still had to make these acts of faith freely, but there was nothing in there to impede. But this does not prevent our receiving and the Lord using us to be the occasion to bring this to others. Okay. But we just have to keep going and getting up when we stumble and not be discouraged, because the evil one will try to do it. This is in the lives of the saints, all of them. And also, let's look at the life of Elizabeth Kindlemann. All right. Is she regarded yet, Patty, as a servant of God?
Not yet. Not yet.
They're working on that, right?
Yes,
okay.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. You're all familiar with her story, right?
Yes,
her
Father.
weakness, how she had self-doubts. I mean, think about it. Toward the end of her life, that one moment when she was constantly being tempted, this was all in her head, that she was bad. She was just making this stuff up, right? What did she do with her diary? She almost put it in the fireplace, and it was her daughter, wasn't it, who grabbed her and stopped her from doing that?
Yes.
And my good, if that wasn't an assault of the evil empire, what would be? But she kept trusting. She kept making those acts of faith and getting the focus away from herself. And that's what we have to do, because unlike Mary, we can be thinking about our own weakness and be our thoughts getting upon ourselves. And when we do that, we stumble. We've got to keep our eyes on Jesus. We have to look at the giver of the gift. We have to look at the Blessed Mother and her love for us. And if we surrender, we entrust ourselves as she did to her son, and to Mary, to whom the Lord has given us. As we know, he said to John, the beloved disciple, "Behold your son." And in giving John to Mary, he was giving all of us to her. So it's his will we receive her. So yes, we're weak and we stumble. But when we keep getting back up and keep going, then more and more we are being formed, our hearts are being formed to be that vessel to receive the flame of love. And then the Lord can use us in our encounters with other people to be the occasion where he can impart that gift through his mother's heart. And why is that? It's because they will see in us the joy and the surrender to the Lord and the peace that gift brings. And they will recognize, even if they can't articulate it, express what it is, this is something not from this world. and they want to have it. And soon as they desire to have it, Jesus knows that, and the gift is given. And it was occasioned by our having received it, being in their presence. You all know that when you've met holy people who know Jesus and his love is in their hearts, that is an occasion to be touched by that love. And when you sense that and you say, Lord, I want that, he is going to answer that prayer. But none of this would happen without spiritual poverty and that obedience of faith. In heaven, of course, there's only charity and love, because then there'll be perfect union with the divine will. And this is related, though, reception of the flame of love, to growing and surrendering our will to the divine will in everything. Because the Lord wants to give us that gift of living in his will so that we love Jesus with his own love. We love him with his own love, and we glorify him with his own love, so that we can say with St. Paul, it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives within me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. It is Jesus in us then that is living. And this is the gift of living in his divine will as well, is that I want what Jesus wants, and I don't want to live according to my own human will. I don't want to be thinking about myself. I want to see with Jesus' eyes. I want to speak with his voice, and I want to give of myself, surrender with his own heart. And that is the gift. That is the gift. That is heaven. That is heaven already within us. I think the Lord, at this particular Advent and this point in the world we're in, this is what he wants us to understand. So when we sing, O come, Emmanuel, we're calling for the coming, the definitive coming in fullness of the one we know already abides in our heart. And the Blessed Mother has her mantle over us, and she's constantly sharing with us that very, very gift. So we too have one foot in heaven. So we're calling for Jesus to come, but it's Jesus in us calling out to him to come. This is the union, the mystical union that the Lord wills for us.